So my name is Tom Bowen. I'm the athletic director at San Jose State University. I have been since December 20th, 2004, embarking on my 5th year. I basically grew up in the Bay Area. I'm a Hayward boy, went to Morrell Catholic High School, and graduated from the University of Notre Dame in 1983. I've been in athletic management my entire career, either as a teacher, head football coach, or an athletic director at the high school, small college. I worked in the NFL for a while, and now I'm the athletic director at a major Division I-A program. So athletic management experience for me has been about the last 25 years of my life. Everybody gets put in a position of leadership has to decide on how much leading you're going to do on a daily basis, and then how much management that you're going to allow to take place in your shop. I think for me, over the years, I have learned to be very careful not to become overreactive on a daily basis, because I think it definitely impacts people's ability to feel supported. At the same time, you have to be somewhat consistent in the messages you give to your leadership, and you have to allow people to make mistakes. You have to allow people to try new things, and you have to say, there's a saying in this building, and it's been everywhere I've been, I'm the most unimportant person all by myself, and that I really can't do everything, and therefore everything has to be done in succinct with where we're going. So I would say that my management style is I tend to let people run hard. I tend to let people make mistakes. I tend to be very, very forgiving when people make mistakes. I do not. Your reasons for being dismissed from me if you worked for me would not be because you made mistakes. It might be because you just didn't get it done even after making 50 mistakes. And I think that's a different style. So I have a lot of people here that are aggressive, they take chances, and we benefit from that. And that's why we've had so much success, because the people leading and managing with me aren't afraid to take chances, and that makes a difference. You know, Demetrius, I think the most difficult part about managing people is that when you know someone is not the right fit for your style or your vision or the collective strategic change, to believe that there's a thing I believe you can't teach talent. And therefore, if you have somebody that doesn't have the talent to do what you need done, there's no way that my ego or my experience is going to teach them to get better. And when I've incorporated that, I've been able to make the right decisions. The difficult part is that there's a lot of people that don't have a lot of talent, that have positions either from one way or another that you come into as a new manager, new leader, you have to make decisions about. So I would say the most difficult thing is sticking to your commitment. I mean, most rewarding for me is watching people succeed, watching my staff continue to go out. I mean, I've gone through 3 senior leaderships in 4.5 years. Mark Harlan was with us, is now the senior vice president in Arizona. Kelly Elliott's now the deputy director at Florida State. Vincenzo Paul is the athletic director, Cal State Monterey Bay. Etienne Thomas is the senior associate AD at UNC Charlotte. Ellen Steyer now works at the West Coast Conference. Angie McKinnon went to Texas Tech, is now working. I mean, everybody comes in and spends time with us, and I think that's kind of how you want your shop to be. Come in, get your time, and then go. So if I was a young man or young woman getting into our business, the ability to stay with confidence, there isn't anything that I won't put 110% in and do whatever it takes to finish. Our business is very, very seductive and very lucrative at some point in your career, no matter what. But in the beginning, it is a very, very dog-eaten, hard, a lot of hours, humping and jumping, not a lot of fun. And what we've discovered is young people come into this business and expect that, okay, well now, you know, I've been 2 years working facilities, I'll be an assistant AD someday. You may not. You know, it may take you 6 or 7 years. And the other thing I think funny about this business is guys will jump into Division III and say, well, I'm going to be Division I-A one day. Well, we don't move like that in this business anymore. And so the first thing I would say is make sure you understand the game. And the game would be if you want to be in a 1A school or 1A, start in 1A. They'll go to Division II and then expect somebody in 1A is going to hire you at Division II. Because I've got a multitude of kids in 1A that want to work too. So what's interesting is the secret, I think, to success in sports management right now is having the ability to create your own network without any job experience, which is key. Internships, the school you're at, coaching staff, and then your ability when given a job to knock it out of the park and then knock the next one out. And maybe you got to do that like maybe 8, 10, 15 times in a row. And what I've discovered is a kid will do male or female. So it's not, and it, by the way, it has nothing to do with gender here, where they'll do 3 or 4 great projects and they're looking around going, okay, well, I'm set, aren't I? I'm like, no. You know, I mean, you may have to do that 50 more times. They get that look of, oh, no, yeah. That's kind of, and then the ability to be mobile. For example, Mexico State's right now looking to hire some people. And I've mentioned to some young people that I know, hey, how about a job in Mexico? I'm not living in Las Cruces. Well, then you really don't want to be in our business. You really don't want, because there's an Associated E job for external that they're looking for. You could have a chance, but you're not going to move, and you're not going to be in our business. Right now, because there's so much interest in our business, you have to be able to say, yeah, I'll go to Las Cruces. I can do 3 years there, 4 years there, whatever I got to do. And that, to me, there is no traditional start at my school and stay like Lawrence for 30 years. That's not happening in our business anymore. It's just not. There's just too much interest to get in our business all the time. The real way you motivate people is you give them a chance to articulate their vision and then meet their goal. Okay, so if you work for me, you write a 100-day plan, and then every 25 days you produce evaluation of the last 25 days. Also in incentives, we have incentives. If you're an external guy, you've got incentives. Internal has incentives. Some cash, some monetary. Most of it opportunity, promotion, title. I'm very willing to give people new titles to help their careers. I remember I was an assistant AD for a long time and should have been an associate AD, but the AD I worked for didn't want to give any titles out, so it was holding back my career. And so I never wanted to be that guy that didn't let you have the title. So I move people through titles a lot if you produce. So the incentives are, if you do well here, you know, it's a great springboard. Oh yeah. Coaches, assistant coaches, yeah. And you do it by staying very litigious and very consistent and very calm. And usually an aggressive dynamic where people are upset with you or upset with the institution, last thing you want to be is emotional. You'll lose. So, especially in the state system. So, yes, very, very calm, very careful, very committed, and very litigious. So everything documented, everything in writing, everything done very, very, very calmly. In fact, the more difficult the situation is with an employee, the calmer I have to be. Because if I don't, it's like throwing gasoline on a flame. It'll create accelerant. It'll accelerate what's going on.